Okay, this one is gonna be kind of rambly. I need to start doing the videos where I do it as soon as I get the downloads because at the moment I'm in the flow and the information comes out really great. I'll say it out loud, but then once I write it, it's like I forget some of it and it gets all mixed up. And then I get stuck in God mode and my brain like is like floating and I have a hard time organizing the words once I do it like later. But like they give me like random words and the way they present stuff to me, like my downloads, like there are some readers that I like to watch specific, and I'll explain later how I choose them. I'm very picky about it, and they actually tell me which ones to watch. And I'll get like signs, like the reader will tell me to look for keys and stars. This is how this started. It was like not even a year ago. They told me to look for keys and stars. And then all of a sudden, a friend of my mom's, I barely met, and they call her the prophet because she likes to work with a lot of elderly people, and she can tell, like her guides talk to her, and she can tell who's gonna die, and she can even tell you how they're gonna die. And when she knew she had met me like briefly, like seeing dropping off a friend for my mom, and we didn't talk. She had seen me, and then finally on the one of the visits, she had come into my house, and she's like she had wanted to talk to me because she had a vision that she had a message for me that I was going to receive two keys. So it's stuff like that. Like I get all the way they communicate with me is amazing. And then I started getting more downloads about keys and how they say, like how I told on the other video, that the females were the key to winning this battle. And then they'll tell me to do more research, and then I'll hear more messages about keys, and I'll be reading an insert on it. And because I was doing more research, well, reading more stuff, and then it went back to the Hermetics and Jewish mysticism, and the fact like where we get our words, the actual source meaning, original meaning, the way it was used before, it's like very, almost like very different. But the way in the Hermetic teachings, basically it's just science and physics explaining like energy, matter, elements, plants, animals, and then consciousness, the mind, emotions, how everything affects everything because it's energy. It's not even like how you would think, like how it's not even spells or anything. It's just science and physics explaining how they work. And once you realize how, and they call them laws and they get broken down, how they interact with each other, and then there's higher level laws that you can use to override, not like override, overpower the lower level laws. And if you know these laws, it's easy to do magic, to manifest stuff. And you see this in like the law of attraction, in The Secret. That's where all of it came from. It's Hermetic teachings, and you see it everywhere. You see all kinds of Hermetic teachings, Jewish mysticism, but you don't realize you're seeing it. So yeah, now I'm gonna have to like read it because I jump around everywhere, being in God mode. It gets a little bit confusing. I'll be reading an insert from a book. It's called The Masterkey System by Charles Haanel, Haanel. And I looked it up on a website, onepowerfulword.com, and there's some sites where you can have it in PDF form, but there's like exercises you can use because I was asking the universe, I was like, okay, I want to help them with their shadow work, but it's a little bit more complicated because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to lead you in the wrong way. And then it had to incorporate, like people need different styles. Sometimes one style doesn't work or they need a mix stuff, and so I didn't want to lead anybody the wrong way. So they're showing me like stuff that you would see like hermetics, and then actual psychology. And there's people that I do watch, psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, and stuff that on my neck on that video when I do talk about doing shadow work, it's probably going to be in separate pieces because it's a lot of stuff, different varieties of information. And this one, the Master Key System, that it'll be one of the books like you should look at or even look at online, that it does have exercises. And then I'll be adding on to the information here after I read a couple of inserts. And there's a website, not a website, a YouTube channel. His name is Hans Willhelm. And check out, he has short videos, and it incorporates psychology and Hermetic teachings, philosophy, and it's like everybody should see this so they can understand what they're manifesting in their life. Like their thinking controls everything. Your emotions control everything. Those two get together. Your mind, your willpower, and your emotions control everything. And this is the same thing they use in magic. Like if you believe in the Illuminati, like mind control, this is all. It's Hermetics and Jewish mysticism. So I was thinking about some other stuff. I'll go along, and it started like making me angry for the fact that, like, knowing this, you could recognize it happening blatant in society, and like we're not aware because yeah, I'll just because I'm gonna just be repeating it at what I wrote, and hopefully I can read it, and my handwriting like switches off with my aspects, and I'll be discussing that later so you can recognize it in yourself. It'll be easier for you to recognize your aspects when they switch off and on, even like when you write, when you talk. It once you pay attention, it's really easy to notice, and you can literally like kind of have like little mental conversations with them, which is cool, and you get to know them, and that way you end up, it makes it easier for you to bring them back in, reintegrate them, and that'll be part of the shadow work videos too. Okay, Hermetics, Jewish mysticism, is in everything we do, think, practice. We just don't realize. Um, like such as The Secret, in which incorporate you'll see it, the ideas of law of attraction. It is using the laws involving basically everything is energy, everything affects everything, and the mind, the willpower, etc. There are different aspects in it, such as matter, elemental, spiritual, animal, plant, man. It gets broken up into more levels. And then within that, the laws of cause and effect, involving the mind, which at plus creating, which I had mentioned before, the yin yang, the mind was masculine, and it was the willpower, the thinking. And then the yin, oh my God, I forgot. Well, the female, the feminine, not female, the feminine aspect does the actual creation, and it's the negative, and you can even see it like in the polarities, like in a on a battery, on the negative pole. That's where the negative charges come from. That's where the electricity comes from. That's where the creation of the electricity is expressed. Um, and then and where we always say that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and then it's the law you visualizing of like the pendulum, the swing. If it swings really hard one way, it's gonna inevitably swing hard the other way. And if you realize that, then you can use that ideology like in regulating your emotions. It gets really good. You guys need to do some reading on Hermetic teachings and Jewish mysticism. It's mind-boggling that it is blatantly everywhere, and we don't realize that had different levels, higher and lower. You can use higher to trump the lower. Um, the greatest tool we have in the laws is the mind. Master your mind and your emotions, you control everything. There is a detail, it's basically a detailed language to all of it, specific meanings, um, in which it connects with everything. And they follow natural laws of the universe that can't be broken. Such thing as like attracts like, the law of attraction. Once you learn them, you can easily manifest an outcome. It's sort of like a cookbook, if you want to think about it, a manual how reality, life, matter, and energy work. And basically it's science and physics. And you'll read it and you're like, it makes sense. It's rational. And you would be shocked, why don't they teach this? Why didn't you know about it before? And so, like, since everything's matter, everything's energy, everything affects everything. So even stuff such as colors, sizes, the distance from something, a certain symbol, shapes, sounds, the heavenly bodies, anything, anything has an effect. And they use that in magic, where they can turn words, a simple word, to be a spell, which it actually is once you do some research on it. Um, and then it made me think, a certain group of people knew this, that all this knowledge, it can control everything. Wouldn't they want to just totally control the knowledge? And so I would think it would make sense, the way society is, the way we view things, how anything that's related in general to Hermetics or Jewish mysticism, they've demonized it, and they actually like disguised it. So like the average person would avoid it, fear it, not recognize it, because even the way the words, ideas today are presented or taught, it's foreign to what it originally meant. As in Jewish mysticism, Hermetics, and it's even used in religion. You can see it in paganism, witchcraft, shamanism, different forms of magic. So knowing these laws, explaining how they work, like the law of attraction, like attracts likes, but cause and effect, mind and emotions, you control your reality, and then you'll realize you always have. And then I was realizing most of us aren't even aware of this, that the way we think, the things we do, the way we respond is a cause that affects our environment and the events that happen, and then we don't realize it. And so if we're very negative, or realize the behavior or thinking is unhealthy, and then the end result, we think it's like it's God punishing us, which it's not. And like they told me that the universal energy, what we consider God, the prime creator, God does not judge. He does not punish anybody at all, like they teach in religion. He doesn't. He doesn't have to, because of universal law, like attracts like. So our environment, yeah, I ate some chips, sorry. So what we do actually, or our inner manifests in our outer. I know saying that just sounds like what? Yeah. Um, it's just cause and effect of energy. When you don't know these laws or how things uh, interact with each other, or someone else who does, can manipulate things such as your thinking, and your environment. And then it kind of led me to like all these phrases popped up in my head, and I was like, yeah, we're not aware of this. We have control of everything. Phrases like to like scare you, like hearing phrases like the will of God, wrath of God, the way of God is mysterious. And I'm like, if you know Hermetics and Jewish mysticism, this makes no sense at all. And that's what they're teaching us. And then I was like, these phrases are either someone who doesn't know translated it this way, or it was done on purpose to make sure someone doesn't try to know even more, to look even further, basically that this is just the way it is. There's no hope. Giving a sense of you are a weak human, have no control, at the whims of others, God, universe, destiny. And And all I could think, this was just a crock of shit. And it started pissing me off. It has been totally hidden, only pieces of the knowledge partially explained or just totally explained wrong, distorted, and then even flipped around. So I was like, everybody needs to know this. That's all I kept thinking. And I was like, the Hermetic mysticism, I mean, the Hermetic teaching, and then the Jewish mysticism, to me, the manual is basically like God's language to explain everything: how to interact with the world, how to interact with your environment, how to use what you have here, your physical body, your spiritual body, to manifest, control your environment. And then there's people who can use these skills that know about it, can control other people. So the original source of words, meanings, and ideas are hidden but placed in plain sight everywhere. Some use it to take advantage of others, like words and mind magic, to make money off of others who are unaware, like, selling books with the law of attraction when it's just Hermetic laws. It is easily accessible to everyone, but they demonized it, made it evil, taboo to even search or access it. It made me realize a lot of stuff, such as philosophy, ideas, especially in spirituality and organized religion. The way it's translated is distorted, backwards, or incomplete. I just can't help feel it was done on purpose. And then the way it's translated, it's just repeated over and over and over again. And like the way my guides or the universe, they want me to experience it first before I teach it. And then a lot of it, somehow they'll give me the information. Like they don't have me read books. That takes a lot of time. And it's a lot faster for them to do downloads or just guide me to like a situation or even a video. And a lot of this, almost all of it, like I didn't know names of it, but the idea, the philosophy of it, they taught me all this before I read it. And I just barely started reading it in the last, like 2-3 weeks, started reading it to show me that it is true. All the answers are within. The universe, God, spirit is more important than searching outside, because most of the knowledge today in the public sector has been translated incorrectly for whatever reason, accident or on purpose. And I talk about narcissists a lot. I can't help it, but it reminded me how narcissists, like how they behave and how they like mimic information, regurgitate it, and the way they speak and the way they do their word salad. How they take the surface explanation of something, not actually understanding the whole deeper truth and using it in their own interpretation to justify their behavior. And then also taking advantage of of another person's lack of the knowledge. So it looks as if they know what they're saying, but in actuality, they're totally incorrect. Then people believe it and repeat the knowledge, basically corrupting everyone into a cycle of failure. If the formula or recipe is wrong, of course the effect or the result would be wrong, not what you're trying for. Of course, then this causes you to blame yourself, feel like a failure, think something is wrong with you, or even to the point where you think you're like undeserving, and that's the reason why it's not working for you. And then it just increases the level of powerlessness and hopelessness. So like my anger started escalating. But I need to start doing these videos as soon as like I think of it, because it flows a lot better. Okay, I'm gonna read a little bit from the book, so you can decide to like look it up, which I think you should. So this is the Masterkey System by Charles Haanel. Thoughts of courage, power, inspiration harmony are substituted for thoughts of failure, despair, lack, limitation, and discord. And as these thoughts take root, the physical tissue is changed and the individual sees life in a new light. Old things have actually passed away, all things have become new. He is born again. This, being born of the Spirit, that's a new meaning for him. He is reconstructed and is filled with joy, confidence, hope, energy. What is the master key? The master key develops mental power, which means that others instinctively recognize that you are a person of force, and that's Hermetic teaching of force and energy. Of character, it means that you attract things to you, that you are what some people call lucky, that things come your way, that you come into an understanding of the fundamental laws of nature and have put yourself in harmony with them, that you are in tune with infinite, that you understand the law of attraction, the natural laws of growth, and the psychological laws on which all advantages in the social and business world rest. Conscious thinking. But we shall find that there is a vast difference between simply thinking and directing our thought consciously, systematically, and constructively. When we do this, we place our mind in harmony with the universal mind. We come in tune with the infinite. We set in operation the highest force in existence, the creative power of the universal mind. So it's working with nature, working with the universe, and using your mind. Universal mind is God mind. This has everything else is governed by natural law, and the law is the law of attraction, which is that mind is creative and will automatically correlate with its object and bring it to manifestation. And then it had some it has a lot of exercises on it that will be beneficial in the book. And then it had a short little question thing. Mind is the master weaver, both of their interior garnet of character, the outer garnet of circumstance. What are some of the functions of the conscious mind? It has the faculty of discrimination. It has the power of reasoning. It is the seat of the will and may impress the subconscious. Conscious mind is reasoning will. Subconscious mind is instinctive desire, the result of past reasoning will. What methods is necessary in order to impress the subconscious? Mentally state what is wanted. What will be the result? If the desire is in harmony with the forward movement of the great whole, forces will be set in motion, which will bring about the result. So I was like, yeah, that's what they taught me and what I've been talking about. So this book, it's not huge. It'd be to your benefit to look at. And then I'll list it down in the description so you guys can look at it, look for it on your own. And then they also wanted me to add, I understand like the secret. I agree with the secret, but there's more to it. Like how I said on my other videos, there's stuff missing that makes you not successful. Like you need to learn that the actual language, universal language, the language that the universe understands, the language that your subconscious understands, is not words. The words is a construct of man interacting with other man. Your first language was the language you had with yourself, and that language is emotion. So that's what the universe understands. That's what the subconscious understands. That's why you can say things outwardly, but that doesn't matter. It depends on what you feel inside. What you feel inside is reality, not the stuff that you say. And so, okay, emotions, if what your environment is that what you believe in is stronger than what you feel, what you say may never work or take way longer to manifest. And basically all you're doing is using repetition to like mind control yourself into believing to feel that into existence. And then I know a lot of times it might not work. And I understand that, which other people need to understand that. And that's a drawback of this book and The Secret. It makes people feel guilty, but they don't understand some things don't manifest because, like, as I said, the universe works to put things into balance. And it might be what you want might not be in your best interest at that moment. And so later on with the other videos, sometimes shadow work helps because you have different aspects that like are in opposition. Like one aspect might want a relationship, but another aspect that shattered doesn't want relationships. It doesn't want to get hurt. So those two aspects, those two personalities are fighting to take control. And they can influence you and cause a lot of chaos in your life and a lot of confusion. And then just one aspect not wanting to have it manifest could literally cause it to not manifest. And that's when you do inner work and integrate those aspects or get to know those aspects so all your aspects can work together instead of against each other. So a lot of like the negative thinking, like one of your aspects can affect what actually happens. So I hope this one wasn't too kind of like just scattered. I need to like do the videos like right away. I'm going to organize it way better and then it'll flow. It comes out way better when the information is first downloaded because it's harder to put it down like on paper and organize it after like they give me tons of information and I'm trying to write it down and a lot of it gets forgotten and then I forget and then I throw it in there and then it's all like jumbled up and but yeah, I'm going to try to do it way more a lot quicker. It'll flow better. So again, remember, it's simple but complicated.